it's our favorite day of the week, and we are super excited that we are here. And it was Christmas yesterday. So today, of course, on Tuesday, we had to proceed with another amazing business owner, which we have today. I'm so excited. Can't wait to introduce her. But let's just give a little information for what's going on the dumping ground. Oh, sorry to mention, Michelle, I also do my own sound effects. I am so excited, guys. We are excited. We are heading into our 4th year. February the 4th will make 4 years of the dumping grounds. We are out here in these streets making it do what it do best. We are here to network with our business owners. We're here to build community. We're here to be a safe space where you can dump off your problems and pick up some solutions, right? Because that's what we're about, right? Yes. As you guys know, we started out in 2023 with a quote, right? And the quote was, "Vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others." Jonathan Swift. Vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others. Like, yo, are you working on your vision? Like, dude, we are like so close to 2024. So what are you going to be doing? Are you going to take those same problems that you had in 2023 to 2024? Or are you going to make some adjustments, some changes? Are you going to celebrate your wins? Because guess what? We have Michelle Steiner on here, and we're going to talk about some wins. We're going to talk about her business adventures, everything about her brand, and we're just excited to have her on. So I'm going to allow her to speak because I'm sure you guys are like, oh my gosh, that's Nikisha and her dramatization. That's okay. You guys know how I do, right? So I'm going to let Michelle introduce her amazing self. Michelle, how are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I certainly appreciate it. Uh, my name is Michelle Steiner. I live in Pennsylvania with my husband Ron and our 2 cats, Jack and Sparrow. I am a disability writer, speaker, and photographer. I have my own blog called Michelle's Mission, where I write about life with a learning disability. And I have a little store and a forum where people with disabilities can connect. And I also work in a school with students that have disabilities and some who don't as a paraeducator. And I have a learning disability myself.
You have superpowers. You have superpowers. So that is what you have. So that's what we're going with, your superpowers. That's making you unique and who you are created and your amazing self that you are. So your superpower. So tonight we're activating your superpowers so you can share with our amazing listeners. I'm sorry, my hair just keeps getting in my face because I think I'm doing the robot. Share with our listeners your win, like a win that you had and that you want us to celebrate with you, something cool that we can like root you on.
Yes, one of my wins that has happened is a group, All Abilities Media, that I contract with, got an award, and we had a nice party with them, and it was just very nice. We're very happy for the award that we got.
Awesome. Well, listen, Michelle, we're super excited for you guys, and we're excited that we are here to walk this journey with you guys, and we look forward to continuously seeing your success and your wins. So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing your wins, right? Yay! Sorry. Told you it's the sugar today. It's the sugar today. Let's talk about your how did you get into blogging and photography, and are you an author? Like, how did you get into this writing? How did you get into that lane that you're in?
Well, writing has always been healing for me. It's one of the first things I found that I was good at because when I was diagnosed with a learning disability in kindergarten, school was really hard for me academically and socially. And I can just remember feeling really discouraged when I was young, thinking things are never going to get better. And it was always going to be a struggle for me. And my life would be perfect if I didn't have a disability. And my dad would read me stories every single night. And I learned to love reading. And I also learned to love writing. And my dad found one of my stories that I wrote when I was in second or third grade, and it was about a dinosaur. And he said, "Wow, this is really good." And that gave me that encouragement like, oh, I can do something. Somebody said I did a good job at something. So that encouraged me. I was writing, I was reading, I was definitely writing a lot of stories and poems. And I can remember uh, that was one of the things that really helped me because it gave me that voice. The bullying started really early when I was young because of having a disability and going to a very small conservative school district where I couldn't hide having a disability. And it got a lot worse whenever I was in school,
Mhm.
uh, whenever I was older. And I can remember I started hanging out with a group that was in a theater or an arts group, and I
Mhm.
wrote for their newsletter, and it was not just a town away. And I got to shed that reputation that I had of being the outcast, and I got to share my voice. And that also encouraged me to join another adult writing group in the community. And I am still friends with these people 25 years later, and we still meet once a month to discuss our writing. And at that point, I was writing a lot of just things at that age. And I can a lot of poetry, not my best work. And I can
Mhm.
remember I had a friend that told me, you should really write about having a learning disability. And I thought, oh, that's too personal. And I continued to write bad poetry and some other really cringeworthy things. But when I finally got that courage to write a story about my struggle with limited hand dexterity and opening up a lock, and that just opened up a new world for me. I found that I had a lot of people who were saying, oh, that's my story, or I can really relate to that, or I have a child that has a disability. And that just encouraged me to write more articles and to get it published in other places. And I decided that I wanted to start my own blog and where I could talk about life with a learning disability. And along with that also came my photography. I had some wonderful people that encouraged me. I can still remember there was an older woman in our group. I took a picture at prom of a tree, and all my peers were saying, "Why'd you take a picture of a tree?" And I showed it to this woman, and she goes, "This shows perspective."
Mhm.
And put that on the shelf for a number of years. And then I just started taking pictures. And I can remember I took pictures at a family wedding. We went to a cemetery afterwards, my husband and I had a friend that was really picky, and she saw these pictures of these angels and said, "Wow, this is really good." And I thought, okay, if she likes it.
You're in the game.
Yeah, exactly. And they got entered in a show, and I also began to take a lot of pictures on my walks because I can't drive. And I'll get a chance to people say, "You bring out details in a flower that I might miss."
Mhm.
And that gives me, if I was driving a vehicle, I wouldn't be able to notice the flowers or scenery and things like that. And I get that chance when I'm on my walk to go and take a picture of a flower and be able to share that with others.
Listen, I think the thing that, so you talked about bullying, right?
Mhm.
And bullying has intensified since I've been in school. I graduated
Mhm.
in 96. And I remembered um dealing with bullies, and I never could understand why, because as you can see, the same person I am today, I was that same crazy, fun, energetic
Yeah. Mhm.
person. And I just could never understand why these particular people didn't see the who I was and didn't appreciate the values that I had. And we could have
Mhm.
been amazing friends. We could have done some amazing things, but they felt too intimidate you and make you feel like you were nothing. And think about it. If you never dealt with those, see, you said, so I'm sorry, you said three things that I have to go back to.
Mhm.
So if you never dealt with those hurts, you said healing, right? From journaling, right? You said that
Mhm.
if if you never found a way to deal with those bullies and hurt and
Mhm.
an outlet to express those feelings and the emotions, then you will become a bitter adult with those
Yep.
same inflicting those, 'cause hurt people hurts people,
Yep.
right? So
Exactly.
your picturing your pictures and your writing is healing, because in counseling, because I'm a life coach, you know
Mhm.
and in counseling, it teaches you need an outlet. You need a place to release those emotions, and journaling is like the top thing. And then you took it a step further and did photography. That's a whole nother layer of healing, because you're able to see things. My husband always told me, he calls me Keisha. He says, Keisha, this is how it's all. Keisha, he's going to kill me when he listens to this, but I love you, babe. Keisha, you need to always look at a picture from different perspective. There is multiple perspectives to the picture, So you're able to capture those perspectives that some people won't be able to capture, and you bringing that to light and you sharing that with the world. Like you said, the lady was like, a tree, like normal person, a tree, right? But in your eyes, you saw something bigger than a tree. You know what I'm saying? And then that other person they saw the other they saw another perspective of the tree. So all of that is healing. All of those are outlets that you're able to cope and manage with your superpowers. I think that sorry, I just had to analyze that.
No, I agree with you 100% because whenever I have my stories or I have my characters, there may be things that I may not say to somebody or I may not have had the courage to say or what I'm thinking or feeling, but I can say that in my writing. And I can also say that in my photography. And I
Yes.
can also look for the good in a situation too. So those things are just so important. And I just, definitely love to encourage my students to have that outlet or other people that I come across with disabilities because it's going to be different for
Superpower.
everybody. Yeah,
Superpower. Your superpower.
superpowers. Yes, definitely to have that. Yeah, because that it's just it's definitely something that's very healing with that.
Definitely. And so for you, and also for you to create a space
Mhm.
where people can connect with you that has this superpowers as
Yes.
well. We all need a community where we can be safe. We need a place where you can land when you don't have a good day and you're just like, and someone's going to be like, hey, had one of those days before. This is what I
Yep.
did, solution based. I think, and then sometimes just be like, I just want to listen. I don't have a solution, but I will listen. You know what I'm saying? So that is
Mhm.
amazing that you have created a place, a platform, a blog where you can connect with other people with superpowers.
Yes, I love that. That is one of the greatest things is being able to help other people, whether that is through the blog or it's in the students. Did I get a chance to share my story and I get to look at their gifts and to be able to encourage them as well. Both of them are just definitely very, very just wonderful.
You are, as we were talking in the green room, there's nothing like having a great educator. Like I
Mhm.
can remember some of and again, I've been out of school since 96. I can remember some of the best teachers who
Mhm.
left such an influence on my life. Like to this day, I can remember their encouraging words and them believing in me. And
Mhm.
sowing those seeds into my life, and especially when you had no clue, and they probably had no clue what you was going through, but they saw the good in you to sow some hope that turned into and develop you into this adult. Like, you have the perfect job. Now everybody's not called to be like, I'm sorry, that's just not my calling, to be a teacher, educator. Now,
Hmm.
everybody have to work in their lane and do what they supposed to do. But that is so cool that you're able to sow these seeds into our kids' lives, especially with their superpowers, to say, you're special. I don't care
Right.
what the world say. I don't care. You have unique abilities. You are able to conquer the world. It doesn't matter about your superpower, and you're not like Johnny or Joe. You are
Hmm.
uniquely who you God created you to be. Unfortunately, this is who you are, and just take the gifts that you have and just run and just conquer the world. That you are in Adam. You are in a great influential position to be able to cultivate our kids, and them to see that you are a success story gives them hope to be like, if Michelle did
Yes. And that's sometimes what I work with sixth graders this year, and sometimes hearing them is like recording of myself. A lot of them might come in not liking that they have this superpower or they have this, and I get the chance to tell them that it's not a bad thing. And I sometimes I get to share my story, and I try to remember how my teachers made me feel.
it.
I've had a unique variety. I've had really great encouraging ones that told me you can go to college, and they could see that potential, and they said we got to get Michelle to be able to do more things, and to not have that learned helplessness. That was a big thing that they did, especially in the early years. And
Oh,
I can remember I had one teacher that told me I could go to college, and I never heard that I could do that. And sometimes that was the voice that I heard when it was really difficult. But I've also had teachers too that weren't always the most encouraging. I can remember I had a learning support teacher that told me that I couldn't do college because of my difficulty with math. And she suggested a trade school, and I was like, I don't know about that. There, it's just nothing there interested me. But I decided, and I even had other people, like a psychiatrist, telling me I couldn't handle going on beyond community college, and telling me, oh, you can't write news reports, when they asked about my job. And I've been able to get my bachelor's degree. That was something I was told I couldn't do. I'm able to pursue those dreams of writing, and to have that. And what I try to remember with a lot of my students is that if they want to do something, they can find, they can find a way to do that. And if the original plan doesn't always work out, there's a lot of other things that we can get them to do that are really close to what they want.
Michelle, you just said a mouthful, right? Number one, an adult
Mhm.
should not be telling a child what they cannot do. How about you give me a solution of what
Yeah.
I can do and help me be better so I can get it done? Because you speak in the doubt. Now, there's two folds to this, because you said I can't. Now I'm going to show you that I can.
Yeah.
Or,
Exactly. Yep.
because that would be me. Be like, oh, really? Now I got to show you, right? Or it could be
Right.
a dream crusher. Like, you may not have students who are, like, their self-esteem at that moment may not be standard, like status, like, and you saying to them, by the way, you can't go to college. What? That can crush them. You don't know. You have to
Yeah.
be we have to learn how to count our words. Think before you speak is real in these streets.
Exactly. Yeah. And that did crush me. I mean, I had a lot of doubt myself, because I
Yes.
thought, oh, can I really handle a lot of that? But I knew going forward, if I would have went to a trade school, the road that they thought would be the easiest would have been a lot harder for me. And it was just about finding what I could do. And
Right.
it was about making a lot of wise decisions with that. I mean, there were certain things that I knew was not going to be a good choice for myself, but other people could do that. And I just try to not try to crush the dreams of my students. I
Yeah.
mean, we can give them backup plans if
Right.
something may not go in their way to do that. We can give them. I like how you said give them the resources, because
Yeah.
sometimes I'll say there's accommodations you can use on campus. You
Right.
can do the. That's why having an extended test time is important. That's why
Yeah.
having a note taker and looking into what those accommodations that they offer, and giving them the right agency that can help them too, I think is also good, because there are a lot of resources that are out there for people that that need them.
Hug you. Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to hug you because it's just
Thank you.
that is so. That's why our tagline is now. I know everybody be like the dumping ground. So yeah, we kind of started off with I kind of wanted to be like my husband was like, well, you're always helping people, right? And you're our life coach, so why don't you take that element? So I was like, okay, maybe I'll start off taking people's situations and give them a solution, right? That's why we say don't
Yeah.
drop your problems, pick up
Hmm.
solutions. But everybody doesn't want solutions. Some people just
Yeah.
want to complain. And, and like I'll give you okay. I'll just be honest. I'll give you 24 hours to have a pity party, Because it's life. Let's just
Okay, it
be real.
does.
And life be
Yeah.
life and you need 24 hours to just
Hmm.
spaz out, right? But after those 24 hours come, you have to dust yourself off by your bootstraps, pick yourself up, and figure out and find a way. Because as long as you're down, it's going to be hard to get up, right? So,
Exactly. Yep.
so when I was trying to do that, I was like, people are weird. So, because I'm
Right.
weird, people have their quirks and I'm weird, but I'm just like, I don't think that's the right route for me, because
Right.
I felt like a dear John, dear Makisha, this is what's going on in my life. And how do you think this should turn out? And then I'll say, well, X, Y, and Z. Well, why did you say X, Y, and Z? I'm like, that's probably the smartest choice, And
Right.
again, it just didn't work for me, So that's how we started off, and like
Hmm.
4 years ago. Then we kind of like pivoted and all that stuff. So solutions base is my job. What I do in corporate.
Yeah.
So I take those transferable skills and transfer it to here. I need solutions. Don't come to me, my team, like, oh, it's so hard. I just don't know what. Yo, again, 24 hours. Go have your pity party. Come talk to me tomorrow with some
Right.
solutions. You know, you
Exactly.
and and I think people need to give each other that grace. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, just that. Like, so for you as an educator, I don't know how we got there, but but as an educator, you should be a solution. That's why we got there. As an
Yeah.
educator, you should be a solution base. Like you should be, and if you don't have the solution, don't be a dream crusher. Just be like, how about give me 24 hours to find you a solution and we'll revene tomorrow. Boom, boom, or the end of the week. Something like that, Just do that. Don't crush someone's dream. You don't know what's inside of them. You don't know their purpose. And here you go and sowing seeds of doubt killer. Sorry, that was so.
Right. No, I agree 100%. And that's something I really strive to do. And I honestly think that if I didn't go back to school and I didn't find a way to do it, I don't think I could be as encouraging. And if I didn't have the superpower that I do,
Yes.
I know I couldn't be empathetic, and I could
Yes.
because, and I would lack that understanding. But I think it's definitely the solution based, because I think I spent a lot of years, definitely over 24 hours, feeling sorry for myself. And that never really got me anywhere, being negative.
No.
And I think I wasted a lot of great years by doing that. And it's when I
Mm.
finally found uh, what, how to be able to do what my dreams were, and just finding that right solution, then that changed me. That changed a lot of it. And for me, when I got that bachelor's degree, I was just a more happy, positive person. And I know it's different for everybody. Maybe not everybody wants to do that, and that's okay. Everybody has to find what that is. But I think once you find what works, and that's the key thing, there's no real cure for what I have, but I can find solutions. And it's so much more positive for me when I dwell on what I can do and what I'm good at than what I struggle with. And that's what works for me.
I love it. So encourage some. So take this
Hmm.
opportunity to encourage someone who is at a crossroad, um,
Right.
especially a student or an adult who's
Yes.
probably struggling with their superpowers and just need a word of encouragement. What would you say to them today?
I would tell people that are at that crossroad to know what they want, number one, because I think sometimes when we try to put them in jobs that are people that have them like thinking, oh, you can go work at a fast food restaurant, or you can go and work at retail. Sometimes those aren't always the best solutions. And if the person doesn't want to do it, I wouldn't really encourage them unless they had to be able to pay bills, and then you can do your other things on the side. But I'm encourage them to know what it is they love, what is their passions, and how can we turn that passions into employment and be able to find a way to do it. It's going to look a lot different for everybody. I know when I went to a Down syndrome congress just over the summer, I got to see people that had intellectual disabilities, that a lot of them had their own business. They were doing things like selling T-shirts, or they had um, or notebooks or paintings, and some of them were into acting. And just seeing all of that was so inspirational to be able to see, okay, these people might have, this is what they have, but they were able to turn that into something that was really amazing. And I think it's finding what you want, how to be able to do it. And also, I think it's redefining success, because my dad always told me that success will may not come in the package that you expect it to. And I found that to be really true. Sometimes what I would measure as success didn't come out in maybe in that exact way, but it turned out to be something so much better.
I I'm honored, so honored for to have you here. Um, Talk about your blog, and
Mhm.
when do you post on your blog, and how people can find your blog?
Sure. My blog is called Michelle's Mission, and I post my blog. I try to do something every 2 weeks. Sometimes life gets in the way and it comes to every 3 weeks, but I try to post about life with a learning disability and just the things that what my superpower is. And I try to put it in ways that people can understand. I Sometimes I might do an analogy of a flower, and just about the different types of things that might be out there uh, with having one, or the different kinds of struggles, and how I've been able to be able to handle that. Sometimes it's just simple things. Like, I know the latest one is, I'm not able to wrap presents for Christmas because of the limited hand dexterity, but how I'm able to get a present out to somebody. That can be one of the things. I put in my artwork with my photography. I have like journals and um, mugs and prints that people can purchase as well. That's one of the things that I put on there. I also have a disability forum where people with disabilities can connect. I try to do questions on themes for the holidays or just whatever the month is, what the theme might be. And you can find me at michellesmission.net.
Michelle, thank you so much. So, you know what we do here is we reconnect with people in 9 months. We've been trying to get people back on the show to kind of see. So in 9 months, you know, you can have a baby. So your brand, your block, your art, your baby, right?
Yes.
So, and you can see the growth. And this is what I've learned, Makisha. This don't do this. And we normally have a lot of other business owners on the panel that comes on, and we just chat, just have a nice conversation, talk about, you know, what's going on in their lives and all this stuff. So we're trying to get one after my show with my anniversary show, which is February. My anniversary show is February the 6th.
Okay.
So I'm gaming for March because, you know, these business owners, their schedule is like, you know, so I'm just like, because I tried to do one in November and I was like, Makisha, how'd you do November? People are on Thanksgiving break and trying to get with their families and check out and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, well, after my anniversary party. And that's going to be, it's going to be live. You could tune in.
Awesome.
We are on podcast. We're on, oh yes. So listen, we're on all podcast outlets. So your interview will be on podcast outlets, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts,
Awesome.
iHeart, all where your podcast outlets places, your interview will be there. Your interview also will be on our YouTube channel. It's also streaming from our Facebook. And also, I'm so proud of StreamYard because they finally got the rights to stream on Instagram.
Yay!
So that's a win for us. So I'm so excited that this is in place now. So we're streaming all these different locations. We're able to, our goal is to continue to capture people like you who have stories, who have superpowers, who's out here making a difference in our amazing world. So in 9 months, you have to come back and share your story, share your growth, share more wins with us. And we're just excited to have you. I'm excited that we met. This is not your first time. Don't try to act all brand new because, you know, I'm just going to come find you in Pennsylvania after the snow, because I'm sorry, I can't do that. I live in the South. As soon as we see sprinkles, the whole city is shut down. So that's going to work for me, you know? So after, maybe in spring or, you know, and not summer, maybe a little bit before summer, but mostly spring. But yes, so thank you so much. I'm sorry, my energy again is on 100. I apologize.
That's great.
This is just, I just enjoy what I do. I enjoy talking and meeting new people and being able to connect. And we're just grateful that you chose to rock with the Dumping Ground on this amazing Tuesday. Do you have any last words you want to share?
I just want to encourage people that have disabilities to just hang in there and use those superpowers.
Until 9 months, Miss Michelle, thank you again for blessing us with your amazing story and your amazing gifts. Continue to be successful. Continue to inspire our youth and our young people to be great. Thank you for being an amazing educator, and salute to you.
Thank you so much.
Have a beautiful night. Until next time.
Yes.
Bye.